welcome back to my channel, Learn Smart Coding. In this video, we are going to see how to pass the parameters in the route and also how to activate a particular route using your code. Come, let's get started. So here on the screen, that's the demo app that I have, and that's the Angular getting started, Angular for beginner course video. And I'm going to show you a couple of screens and help you understand how to pass the parameters to the route. So here if you see under the menu, there is something called all foods. If I go here, there will be a list of food items displayed. And if I hover on the view, you can see down here, look at here, you can see down here, it is appended with a particular ID and each route has a different ID. So when you click on a particular item, it takes you to a different route that you can see in the navigation. And here the parameters that we are discussing is nothing but this number. After a particular static content, if there is a number, that's called the parameters, and we are going to see how to pass the parameters in the route. And let me show you one more thing. So if I go to a different page, now this is a different example. If I click on this one, it takes me to the same page, but if you see after the route, there is something called question mark and then appended with some data. And anything that is after question mark is called query parameters. Anything before the question mark is the actual route, and we are going to see only the route in this video. Come, let's get started. In order to understand better, this is the complete app that I have opened, and this is available in GitHub. So don't worry about the coding, and you can always see the complete code from the GitHub. So now we were referring to the food items, and if you look at the food items initially that I was showing you, that's coming from this page. So all what you need to do is just use the router link. There is a directive called router link, and if you use the directive link and if you use the router link directive and pass the route, the first parameter is the route followed by comma and then the route data, the parameter data. And if you see slash cosine slash food, and then this item.id is nothing but we are looping through the food menus and each one is going to have an ID, and that is what this item.id. So let me show you this. So I'll open up the developer tool. So let's come back to all food. In the network, you can see the data that came in. And if I go to the response, you can also see here. So here you see this ID, this is the one that we're talking about. So each item, there are like 12 items and each one has a different ID. Okay, so this is what we are referring to. Let's close this. So what we're doing is when you click on this, it's basically it's going to put the ID into this route. And from where this ID comes, let's take a look at the routing for this one. So here, if you see, it's taking us to cosine as the module slash food ID. So anything that you start with colon, they denote the parameter. So this is the parameter name, food ID. Okay, so let's go back quickly. So we're passing the ID to this route. Okay, now let's go back to the destination. So it goes to the destination called food details, and in the food details, how do you use it? How do you get the data from the route? So in order to get the route data, we need to use activated route. I've injected an activated route into my constructor of this property. I've injected the activated route into this component, and how do I use it? So on this component, the way you query the data is to use that activated route, which is in this case it's a route. So this .route.snapshot .paramsmap.get. Under the get, you need to pass exactly the ID that was defined in the route. It has to match the food ID. If you look at your food ID and come back to the module, see, this is the food ID, right? Followed by the colon. So this food ID, if you do, it will be able to take the data, and it's a snapshot. When the data changes in the URL within the same page, it won't reflect, and you need to use the subscription for that. Now let's say focus on this one. You need to use route.snapshot.paramsmap.get followed by, you should just pass the ID. So I put alert statement here just to see how the data is retrieved. Okay, back on the screen, and I'm running this time from my local because I modified the data in the local. The earlier one that you were seeing was deployed to the web. Now let's stay focused. So when I click on this, you can see the data, which is 1, was retrieved. So I'll go back. You come from any screen, you can see the data has been retrieved. How do you navigate to a particular route from your code? That's also simple. Let's take a look at another component called food items. So in this one, you need to use another service called router service, right? So router service is to navigate to a particular route, and activated route is to get the data of your route, access the data of your route. So we injected a router service, and let's take a look at. Now I have a method called navigate to a food item where it accepts just the ID. So what we are doing is we are forming a URL. So in this case, it's just cosine/food and then followed by the food ID. So then you say router.navigate and then just pass the route. That's it. So from where this is coming, let's go back to the demo. So this one. So this component is using a route navigator. So this component is using a router.navigate here, and the other component that I use, which is all food, this is router link. So I just wanted to give you two different examples how to navigate to a different route using your router link and also using your code. Now if you have to take a look at the complete course for the beginners, you can come to my channel and look at this video, and this video will cover everything, and you also have a playlist which will cover one by one. Now if you want to get the entire code, go to github.com/learnsmartcoding and then go to Angular for Beginner, and you can download the complete code from the main branch and will include every single thing that you see in this demo. So this is the complete app which is deployed. Whatever you're seeing here, everything is available in this code. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. If you liked my video, don't forget to subscribe my channel, like it, share it, comment it, and never forget to click on the bell icon.